you need to look at what are the Trump-proof stocks, because as Donald Trump's tariffs take into effect today, partly today and partly maybe in another 21 days, there are a few stocks which will withstand these pressures better. Somit Johnson with a list of those. Somit.
Yes, Trump has announced a 25% tariff on Indian exports that we are doing currently, and additional 25% will get implemented after 21 days. But for the current 25% which gets implemented today, as per analysts, this tariff impact will have earnings impact of nearly 5% on the MSCI India earnings. But if additional 25% comes in, then this could be around 10%. And when it comes to the GDP growth number, that could get impacted by around 30 to 50 basis points for the 25% which is getting implemented from today. And if additional 25% comes in, then as per analysts, this impact could be anywhere between 40 to 80 basis points on the GDP growth number. Now, multiple sectors get impacted. There is auto, there is chemical, there is textile, there is oil and gas, which could get impacted because of the ban of Russian crude. Then there is new energy and seafood, which also get impacted because of this ban. But there are multiple other sectors which actually get least impacted because of this Trump tariff coming in. And these sectors are banking, NBFC, insurance, cement, consumption, hospital, real estate, telecom, power, and these are all domestic focused or domestic centric companies, so they get less impacted because of this tariffs that has been implemented by the United States of America. Now, if we look at the stocks, now these are the stocks, obviously this is not an exhaustive list, but these are the stocks which get nearly 90 to 95% of their revenue from the domestic market, or at least 90 to 95% of their SOTP, that is the target price value, comes in from the domestic market. When it comes to banks, it's HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank. Again, this is not an exhaustive list, but these are the top companies which get least impacted because of the Trump tariffs. When it comes to NBFCs, there are NBFCs like Bajaj Finance, Shriram Finance, Chola Finance, which get least impacted. In insurance, there is LIC, HDFC Life, SBI Life, ICICI Pru, ICICI Lombard in the general insurance side. When it comes to cement companies, it's names like Ambuja, Ultratech, Shree Cement, Dalmia Bharat. In consumption sector, there is stocks like Zomato, Trent, Titan, United Spirits, Page Industries. Again, there are more consumption-focused companies that get less impacted because of this Trump tariffs. In hospital, it's zero impact. Apollo Hospital, Fortis, Max Healthcare all derive nearly 100% of their revenues from the domestic market. When it comes to real estate, all of these companies generate 100% of their revenues from the domestic market. That's DLF, Lodha, Phoenix Mill, Godrej Properties. In telecom, it's Bharti Airtel, which derives nearly 90% or more than that of its SOTP value from the India market. Bharti Hexacom, 100% India market. Industars, again 100% of its revenue comes from the India market. Apart from that, in the power sector, there is Adani Power, Adani Transmission, Power Grid, NTPC. In auto, most of the auto sectors do get impacted, mostly auto ancillaries, but then there are few auto companies which generate nearly 90% or more than that of its revenue from the domestic market, and those are Ashok Leyland, Hero Moto, Eicher Motors and Escorts as well. And lastly, when it comes to the travel and tourism sector, it's Indian Hotels, Lemon Tree, IRCTC, which generate nearly most of the revenue from the Indian market, and they also stand to get least impacted because of this Trump tariff. Obviously, if there is a big GDP slowdown, then each and every Indian companies might get impacted, but at least because of the Trump tariffs or the tariffs that are getting implemented on exports, these companies will get least impacted because of that.